Peter, hello. We're back.
Back again, baby.
Yeah. So I have something. I heard this on the radio today. Do you know crumble cookies?
I've heard of it. Is it a big cookie?
Giant cookie.
Disastrously caloric.
I didn't ask for your opinion.
Okay.
Do you know what crumble cookies is? Like the store. Like it's a chain.
Oh, yes. That's right.
Like CRUMBL.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's decadence.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So they came out with something called a dirty soda.
Oh, boy. Okay.
Okay.
What the hell is that?
I'm going to read to you.
Wait. Is it a cookie or a soda?
It's a soda.
Oh, wow.
And it's sort of a mixture of like energy drink with like.
Does it have like cookies in it?
It's like soda / energy drink /
shake,
whatever. I just want to read to you
the ingredients,
the nutritional content. Okay.
Okay.
32 ounces.
So
Okay.
two cups.
Yeah.
It's a pint.
2 cups.
No,
Is that 4
cups.
4 cups. So
Oh.
32 ounces. So big, like almost like a big gulp
ass.
kind.
Yeah.
Okay. 840 calories.
Bro.
186 grams of sugar.
That's fucking criminal.
190 grams of carbs. So you would imagine sugar, carb,
Yeah,
right?
sure. Same thing.
12 grams of fat.
Okay, that's not bad.
And 150 whatever you measure caffeine in.
Hey-ho, diabetes. This is, I mean, my goodness.
So would you ever?
I do not recommend this to our friend Ava.
Would you ever?
This is not.
Would you ever get the dirty soda at Crumble?
Maybe when I was 16.
So this.
Yeah, that's nonsense.
Yeah. So for me, this brings up like a bigger.
That's half the total calories and all of the total sugar, like carbs, that like regular people have for the whole day.
For the whole day.
And that's like a snack.
So this kind of brings up my like the bigger question.
Yeah.
Should this even be allowed?
No, it
Like,
should be.
should like the government or somebody?
But my freedoms.
Why is this even okay?
It's poison.
I don't
I mean,
understand.
it actually is poison.
Like, what about the thing I sent you the other day for like, what was it, Chick-fil-A or somebody? What was it like where there was like not Chick? Was it?
So there was a 6-stack burger.
Oh, it was In-N-Out burger.
In-N-Out burger, 6-stack burger. And it was like, we did a few episodes ago, we made fun of protein on all the products,
Yeah, it's
right?
protein.
It was the one that Ava was on, right?
Yes.
And it was basically like, so there was this advertisement, In-N-Out burger, 6-stack protein, 6 pieces of cheese on a bun, 101 grams of protein or whatever. As soon as you sent it to me, I immediately like zoomed in to look at the nutrition label. Yeah. And it was some bullshit where they claimed it was like 650 calories. And I was instantly like,
impossible.
That's impossible because where's the fat?
It's basically no fat. It's like a fat-free. Like
fatless
I
burger.
can't imagine the quality of the meat at In-N-Out is like 95% like fat-free.
It's like 75-25.
Yeah.
Like for sure,
It's like
right?
shitty meat.
It's like mostly fat.
Yeah.
So there's no
why
effing
it's so
way.
good.
So it's a big lie from hell. That thing's probably like 1,600 calories for a burger.
It was great.
Yeah. So
should there be oversight?
So should it be illegal?
Should we allow this?
Well, is it like meth, and is it dangerous enough that like the authorities should probably step in and be like, this is criminal?
Feels like it.
Getting close.
Yeah. So
we're
remember
riding
when?
the line.
So there was a time when cigarettes were like really available and really cheap.
Yeah, because they were good for your health.
Well, yeah, but so everyone was smoking. Yeah. Then they decided, okay, this is costing us a fortune in health.
Yeah.
Right? Like we're spending $1 trillion dollars
it's
on
always
like
based around money.
And so the government started to put hefty like taxes on, warning labels and taxes and stuff. So now like a pack of cigarettes in Massachusetts is like $15 or something. It's almost impossible.
Because it's highly taxed.
Yeah, so they made it more, they made it more difficult for people to afford to be a smoker in hopes that they would be less. And that has served to be true because like more young people didn't pick up smoking because it was a really expensive thing.
There was also a lot of social pressure and like it just, the last generation kind of faded away from smoking,
right.
I think,
So should we do something like this with food? Like, do we need to start putting warning labels on whatever this thing was called, the dirty soda or the 6-stack In-N-Out burger or like whatever, so that people realize like, hey, if you eat this, like these are all the horrible things that might happen.
It might be where food is going because it is true that like that 100, just like smoking, just like if you say like, if I smoke consistently, I'm far more likely to get these types of cancers. I mean, we know that to be true.
Yeah.
Like I promise you that if you had one of those fucking things every day, I promise you that you're far more likely to get like type 2 diabetes at some point.
Or any kind of metabolic, what do you call that? Like it's a metabolic.
So metabolic disorder.
Syndrome or
whatever. Yeah. So basically you're far more likely to become obese. You're far more likely to get type 2 diabetes or become at least insulin resistant.
Right.
So there's certainly health implications for foods like that.
Yeah.
And that's just an egregious form of a
if
it's a
not-
non-food.
If not for the health of it, for the cost of it, the cost to the healthcare system.
Oh,
right?
sure.
That's what got smoking. It wasn't, they didn't care that people were
People
dying
getting
from smoking. They
sick,
could care less. They'd actually probably prefer that you die quicker so you didn't cost so much money.
Yeah.
But like, it was the cost on the system that led to them making change.
Yeah.
It wasn't they cared about people.
I mean,
And
so this is a broader problem. Like, right, the government can't be like, oh, we're banning like this particular thing. It would have to be like a sweeping act that like says if foods have this amount of X, Y, and Z, sugars, whatever it is,
Yeah.
then you can't do it, I think. And so I don't know if like big food is too big to fail in that sense.
Yeah.
Like, I have no
They're
idea.
too powerful. Like we can't. Like,
Yeah, I don't know about the business aspect of it or the systems aspect of it, but like it might just be that there's too many lobbies and there's too much invested in the system that we have today surrounding like all of the nonsense food that we eat that they can't put those I don't know, but it certainly seems like it's detrimental enough that is so egregious, it's
so
like
horrible.
nonsensical.
All right. So 2 questions. One, well, a question and a statement. The statement is, I think I'd like my nickname to be Big Food.
Instead of Big G?
Yeah, when you said Big Food, I was like, that's a good nickname.
Big Food.
Yeah, what's up, Big Food? So anyway, 1,
We'll run a poll.
Big Food.
Yeah.
All right, so for now on, just call me Big Food.
All right.
And 2, would you ever get a dirty soda? Would you ever? Like if you went with your kids and their dad.
No,
like,
never. No, never. It's impossible. When I was a child, I mean, I could maybe have a few sips. Like, I guarantee you that my palate at this point is so not used to that level of sweetness.
Would you throw that up?
If I drank the whole thing,
Yeah.
probably. But like, I could probably get through like 2 sips,
Yeah.
and I'm just like, I'm not. Because
I
it's
for
awful.
sure would never order that.
Yeah, never, ever, ever. Like,
Because
that's-
it would just be it's just too much.
I mean, I don't even drink a soda.
Yeah.
I don't even drink a full sugar soda.
Yeah.
That's like
I had a regular Coke recently.
that's like 4 sodas.
Yeah.
Holy shit.
If I ever drink soda, it's usually like diet or like that. Like the
Same.
Polar.
I'll drink a diet
Yeah.
like Coke
Yeah.
every once in a while, but like never will I be like, let me just like down these 50 grams of sugars.
I had to have like a regular Coke recently, like because that's the only thing. That's what they gave. Like I came out and I literally had 1 sip and I was like, I can't even. It was like too sweet.
Yeah,
It
it's
just
not worth
tasted
it.
awful.
Yeah.
Anyway, okay.
Wow.
Well,
That's fascinating.
there it is.
You know what's great about
Just
that?
another example.
And we've also talked about marketing in relation to food.
Yeah.
They are fully aware of
Yeah, they
how
don't care.
egregious that is.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
like even the name signals it.
Sure.
Right?
Yeah.
It tells you like this is
Right.
awful for you
Yeah.
and you're gonna love it.
There also is like the part of it, like the energy drink part of it. That's where they're marketed. It gives you energy because it's 150 whatever of caffeine. So I think they almost promote it as like this energy drink, which is just
So
horrific.
brutal. Yeah.
Anyway, Crumble.
You should be ashamed
You
of
should be
yourself.
ashamed of
Oh my
yourselves
God.
for this.
Who's their audience?
That's
Dear
awful.
Lord.
Yeah, that's awful. Okay, so this brings up the actual show.
Yes.
All right, how do we get into this? So we've joked in the past about total immersion therapy with Peter.
It seems so fun.
All right,
I would love
so
it.
let me describe to the people what total
If anybody wants this, by the way, this is a real offer.
for the low price
Yeah.
of $10,000.
Yes.
Right, $10,000. You can live with Peter for a month, right?
100%.
So we joke about like, oh, okay, what is the best way for somebody to change their life, right?
Mm-hmm.
For if you're looking to eat better, get on a regular sleep schedule, train regularly, do all of the things, right? Like be outside, like all the things that we know to be good for us,
Yeah.
right? From like, the experts of what's good, socialization,
Yeah.
all the things. You tend to do most of those things.
How to eat well, move good, get some sleep, which I didn't do last night.
Yeah.
And have good social relationships.
Yes. So you kind of check all the boxes. You're very disciplined. You do all this
I
stuff.
try my best.
So we often would joke where people that were with our friends and stuff when they were struggling, trying to do the same. Right? In any of those things, I was like, oh, you should do total immersion with Peter.
Come live with me.
Like go live with Peter for
Yeah.
like 1 month.
Yeah.
Right? And then
Just take a break from your life.
Live his life
Yeah.
for 1 month. And then after a month, hopefully, based on the things we know about how long it takes to develop habits, et cetera, it's just usually like 22 days, magical, 22
Yeah, and
days.
it wouldn't even be
But-
extreme. It would just be kind of a normal life that's focused around optimizing kind of those 4 categories.
Yeah, like you eat the meals that you eat.
Yeah,
and
it's
you
just,
go
it's
to bed
nothing
when
crazy.
you go to
It's
bed.
not like The Biggest Loser.
You're
where
just
I'm like
fully immersed.
whipping you every day.
Yeah. So it's total immersion. So then after that 30 days, theoretically, one could just carry on and do what.
Kind of continue to try
Yes.
to live some amalgamation of that life.
Okay.
Yes.
So we joke about it. And then I was thinking, is there a version? Is there something like this, right? That you can incorporate, that somebody can incorporate into their life? Like, so how do I make that? Like we had a show recently about like COVID, right? The time during COVID, and there was like good things that we felt as though happened during COVID, and it's like, how do we recreate that? So I guess my question to this is like, how can I best recreate total immersion without having to give you $10,000 to come live at your house? Like, how can I do that? How can anybody do? Now, I personally feel like I have it all dialed in pretty good, but most people, or a lot of people, can't. So are there systems in place? I guess what I'm asking for is like, what are the systems that you've put in place that other people can learn from, that they can essentially create their own version of this? And are there tricks? Are there apps? Is there technology? Is it simply willpower? Like, how do we go about this? So let's start with the food. How do I totally immerse myself in the world? Like, what are some of the tricks that you do, or the way that you go about it to make sure that every week that you're eating well?
Yeah, so it starts with the grocery shopping. Like, you have to know how to shop. If it's a skill, like, you have to know like where the healthy food is. I mean, in a grocery store.
You do like the scavenger hunt? Like, where do you go?
Well, I generally like the advice of you don't get to go down the aisles for the most part.
Shop the edges.
You really do have to just kind of trace the perimeter, and that's where like the real food is.
All my favorite things are in the middle.
Because I know. Because the real foods are on the edges. And so you just start and you kind of peruse the whole thing.
Yeah.
So first, you have to know what's the real food, where to find it, what you're getting.
Yeah.
And then that has to be done every week if you're going to food prep. And then food prep is required because we all live busy lives.
Yeah.
And
I feel like, is the key.
So this is why, yes.
So two things, like one, getting the right food into your home.
You have to know what that is and how to do it.
Right, because for a lot of people, me included, if the wrong food is in my home,
you're gonna eat it.
I'm going to eat it.
Correct.
So if there's chips in my house, I'm going to eat the chips. If there's Cheez-Its in there, which I had yesterday, like, I'm going to eat them.
So it starts with not shopping in the middle aisle so that you don't bring the food in your house that you don't want to eat in the first place.
Yeah.
Because there's a difference between the person sitting here today going, well, I know that I don't want to eat those foods, and then the person that's at like 9 at night while they're watching TV and then saying no to the Cheetos in the cabinet.
Yeah.
Those are two totally different things. Right. So if you don't have it in your house, you're far less likely to not be disciplined and eat it, right? Because it's not possible.
Yeah.
So it's just like, so bring the good food in, don't let the bad food in, okay? And then know how to cook.
Yeah.
So you have to be able to cook and prep. And the reason why you have to know how to cook and prep is because if you don't make it convenient for yourself to eat healthy, I promise you're far less likely to eat healthy, because life's going to get busy. You're going to be on the road. You're going to stop at a place, get a thing that you maybe shouldn't have. Whereas if you got real food, prepped on the weekend or some day during the week that makes sense for your life, created what is convenience food for you that is also healthy. Yeah. So now I have my food that I've prepped in a dish that I get to then put it in the microwave when I'm busy at work instead of order in.
Right.
That's the strategy, is preparing ahead of time for the busy week that you'll inevitably have.
Right. It's amazing how well that works. So when I go home after work to like have lunch or whatever, if there is food that we've made earlier in the week, like chicken or ground beef or something that's already in there, I eat that without even thinking about it. Like, that's just what I grab. Yeah. If it's not there, I immediately default to, I'm going to make a sandwich. And with that sandwich, I'm going to have some chips. And I might have a little extra bread because my dog wants some bread. So I'm going to give her some, and I'll have some. So now I'm like on 3 slices of bread. There's some extra cheese being thrown in there. So I default to like convenient, because it's so easy to make a sandwich.
And you're not going to sit there
I'm not going to sit there and grill chicken in the moment. It's just not going to happen, right? And so, but I notice it every time. I'm like if I just had like the food, I would eat it, but now I don't, and now I'm just going to do this thing.
So it's making fast food for yourself, but in order to do that, you have to carve out time ahead of time so that the rest of your week runs smoothly. So you're essentially predetermining what you're going to eat by allocating time, like on the weekend or something like that, to do it.
Right.
That's
the key. It's like scheduling.
That's
like every Sunday from this time to that time. This is what I do.
So it's the groceries into the house, the food you don't want not in the house, preparing your food for the week, and then now if you've created a week like that, now you can just stack those weeks on top of itself, and then now you've created a system of eating that serves like your life.
Right. I think there's a component to the grocery shopping too. For some people, like going to the store is a trigger, right? Okay. It's hard. Right? You go there, you're walking, and you see all of the things.
That's why you don't get to go down the aisle.
Easier said than done.
Sure.
But the food like pickup system or delivery to your house is a nice system, right? For instance, we live in Massachusetts, and we have a Hannaford near our house. Yeah. So with Hannaford, for like a couple of extra dollars, so I'm not having it delivered to the house. Delivered to the house costs significantly more because they raise the price of almost every product. But when you're just doing the to-go, the Hannaford to-go, they charge you like a convenience fee of like $3 or something. but the price of each thing is the same.
The same, yeah.
Right? So they're not like jacking up the price. But when you're ordering online and you're shopping from essentially your list, you're less likely to then go grab the Cheez-Its or grab the whatever because you're not walking by them.
Yeah.
I really like Cheez-Its, as you can see. So
Anything carb related, right?
yes, I love carbs. So me, like if I'm near the bread section, which by the way, on the perimeter.
That's right, it is on the perimeter.
Yeah.
And
So-
cookies too, right? The bakery section is on the perimeter.
According to Peter, I can get bread and cookies
Anything on the perimeter.
and ice cream.
Yeah.
But for me, like being there, smelling it, right, seeing it,
Yeah.
makes it a lot more difficult to not get it. So, but by shopping online with like a list at home of the things that I know to be healthy, I'm less likely to do the impulse
To be
shopping.
tempted.
So for some people where the store can be a trigger, I think doing the online thing,
true.
showing up there, if you don't want to have it delivered and pay a lot more, just show up there, they come out, they bring it to your car, you take it and off
It's
you
much
go.
easier to search for the things and then put them in your cart
Yeah.
if you're not in person
Yeah.
than to like peruse and browse, which is what the stores want you to do anyways
Right.
when
And
you're physically in there.
Like for me, like where I go to the store. So not only is the store a trigger, but like as you're walking in, there's a Chinese food right next door. You can smell the Chinese food.
Yeah.
There's it's called Bailey's, but it's like a American food, you know, like burgers and stuff like that. Like you can smell that. There's a McDonald's, there's a Dunkin' Donuts, there's a Starbucks. There's literally freaking like triggers everywhere of all of the things that I would love to
Do
eat.
you notice yourself being drawn to it?
I'm drawn. Of course, I'm drawn to it.
Do you fall?
Who isn't?
Do you fall prey?
You're the outlier. Who wouldn't be drawn to like the smell of like Chinese food? It's like that cartoon where the smell comes through the air and like the little thing like you follow.
You just
it.
float away
Like,
after
yeah,
it?
that's what I feel like. I feel like I'm just like if I just veer to the right, I'm inside eating like chicken fingers and like lo mein. I'm having a great time.
Yeah, those are some non-negotiables.
Yeah. So, but anyway, so I guess for me, not going there is helpful.
It's not even me in the parking lot.
Just not even being yes.
That's so
I'm
ridiculous.
basically, I have to be across the street at the high school.
Yeah.
We're at the parking lot, but please deliver it.
Paradoxically, though, you have to go to that parking lot often to go to the gym.
Go to the gym.
You have to escape all that bullshit.
I
around
do.
you.
It's the same parking lot. There's so many things in there.
my God.
The parking lot, luckily, is far enough away from most of those things. I don't smell it, except for the one, the like Bailey's, the smell of the burger. Anyway, my point is I think for some people the trigger is like having it delivered to the house can be super helpful.
Yeah.
So don't bring it into your home.
Yeah.
Food prep,
Yeah.
like make time for that. Figure out what your triggers are. Try to avoid that,
Yeah.
and then that kind of dials you in.
And then you have to create a day of what healthy eating looks like.
Yeah.
And then so to add on to that, then your food prep becomes what is my breakfast, lunch, and dinner, and what are my snacks.
Snacks, yeah.
And so most people end up prepping their lunch because they're at work.
Yeah.
Most families end up cooking their meals together and having a family meal at night.
Yeah.
And so you just make those things the same type. It's some meat and vegetable. And then your breakfast can be you can prep like eggs, you can like prep like egg muffins, you can prep breakfast, or if you want a routine in the morning where you set up some time before your day
Yeah.
to chill, then like maybe you cook yourself for your breakfast or something like that. But otherwise, prep your snacks, prep your lunch, have dinner when you get home with your family, and then figure out what you're doing for breakfast. That's what I would do. Stack those days together, turn that into a week, stack those weeks onto months, and then now you have now you have the way that you eat as a system forever that helps to keep you healthy.
Yeah, and I think that says it really well. So basically creating systems around all of these things that are manageable, that are doable, that are...
And it should be something that you like, and it's not based upon restriction. It's not based upon eating foods that you hate.
Yeah.
It requires some experimentation. I think the hardest part with all of this for people who don't have an education and they're not used to it is these are all new things that can be overwhelming because they're new.
Yeah.
And so you have to give yourself grace to like take it slow. It's okay. Build a skill, learn over time. The reason why the total immersion I think would work so well is because they would be living it every day. They would just be doing the things that I already do, so they would be learning by doing. Whereas when you're on your own at home, getting this advice is easy, but then to figure out what that looks like for you is very hard.
Right.
And it requires persistence.
I think the other thing about the immersion therapy is that you take away the decision, so there's less decision fatigue.
Yeah, they just
Right?
get to do
You're
the thing.
making, in that scenario, you'd be making the decisions for me, so I just going along with the day. We are now eating chicken and beets.
Correct.
We are now swimming in the pool.
Yes.
We are now in the sauna.
Going for a bike
We
ride.
are now doing this. Like, this is just what we're doing. And I'm just like, okay, this is like, I signed up for this. I just do what he tells me.
Yeah.
I don't have to make a decision. Anytime I get a chance to make a decision,
Yeah.
I'm inside the Chinese food place. That's just which, by the way, is not true. I've actually only gone in that place a couple of times,
Yeah.
but I do smell it and it makes me want to. However, this is the point though. Anytime you get a choice between the good and the bad, like sometimes you're going to choose the other thing.
Yeah.
In total immersion, you don't get,
You
to,
don't
do
get to do that.
Right.
Yeah.
So, all right. So let's move into
So that's food.
let's move into fitness. I think some of the same kind of things can apply.
Yeah.
Same kind of principles, creating systems or whatever.
Yeah.
But so how do you go about then creating this for your physical health?
Yeah. So physical health, put them into one giant category of like how do I move around the world, and then I would say break that up into two things, and you got targeted intentional exercise and then physical activity movement, right? Because those two things are very different. So for instance, so you can have a really sedentary job and have really sedentary hobbies. So you mostly sit around and you go to the gym 3 times a week for 30 minutes. That's pretty bad still.
Yeah.
Like I don't care that you went to the gym for 30 minutes. If the rest of your life is a lot of sitting around, that's really bad.
It's not enough.
It's poison for you.
Right. And people can convince themselves that it is. Like, oh, I go to the gym.
Yeah. No. So
it's not helpful.
So I would say, so for most people, right, that's listening to this, you probably have a sedentary job, which means that you really can't afford sedentary hobbies, which means that you have to think about the rest of your life and the things that you do if you're interested in your health and being physically active and keeping your body as you age. You have to find things that you enjoy that are hobbies that are also physical.
Right.
And that's a personal choice, so that can be literally whatever. It could be walks with your...
For example, a typical day in the life of Peter.
Yeah, so...
in the summer, let's go with summertime.
So I'm lucky enough that I also don't have a sedentary job, right? Like it's
let's
mostly
just
physical.
When you're done with work, what do you do?
When I'm done with work, there's often some version of table tennis, pickleball.
I also hate that you call it table tennis.
Table tennis.
Ping pong.
Pickleball, bike riding, walking, swimming, like there's something that I'm doing, spike ball in the yard with my kids, there's something that I'm doing physically because that's what I enjoy, right? Yeah. So there's some version of that.
Yeah.
And then there's also like targeted exercise every day. So there's,
meaning like a workout.
Yeah, so there's some cardio, strength training most days of the week, 5-ish, 6 days a week. And then combined with when I'm not working, I'm most likely attempting to do some physical activity. Yeah. I think that satisfies both the movement piece of being active and also the exercise, getting strong, staying fit, staying mobile piece of that as well.
Okay.
So those are the categories that I would encourage people to think about as it relates to their daily life.
Right. So it doesn't have to be you're spending 1 million hours in the gym. You don't even have to be in the gym every single day.
No.
You just basically need to be moving.
Yeah, bare minimum, like twice a week for 30 minutes is a great start for people who don't do it ever.
Right.
So I swear to God, like that pays dividends for sure if you don't do anything as a baseline, and then you can slowly add to that. But also, like, again, if you're not doing much, like targeted walks every day, like half-an-hour walks, start with that. It can start nice and slow, but think about active hobbies, think about some type of targeted exercise, and if you can start with a system that's nice and slow and then intend on slowly progressing it, I think that that's probably a good start.
So I was listening to a podcast the other day, and this lady came up with this number, or something to do, like most people have 72 free hours in their week, right? Meaning that outside of, if you take away work, I forget her exact math, but so.
And sleep.
I'm sure somebody will correct me on this, but if you take away sleep and work, and you take a total number of hours in a week and you subtract those two things, like the average amount of sleep that people get or should get, and then what they spend at work, say 40 hours, that you're left with something like 72 hours every week. Yeah. And then you get to decide like what you're gonna do with it, and most people often will be like, well, I don't have time. Well, you do, like you have 72 hours or whatever.
You just have to plan for it.
You just have to figure out, and she says the mistake that most people make is they don't have a plan for it. They don't have a plan for the 72. So when the time hits, so this happens to me recently because I'm done coaching baseball. Yeah. So when I'm done here, I go to the gym, I do whatever, and I get home and it's like 3 o'clock or something. And I'm like, well, I don't go to bed until 9 o'clock. Yeah. Well, now what do? I start putzing around the house, or I start doing, you know what I mean? I start trying to find things to do. But if I had a plan for what I was going to do during that time, it's much more likely that I don't default to just like scrolling on my phone or watching TV or something, because that's the easy thing, right? That's like the default for a lot of people, just like because it's there, it's sedentary, it doesn't require planning, it's just there, convenient. But if you have a plan, if I know, okay, on Wednesdays, I'm going to go for a hike. Yep. And on Thursdays, I'm going to go play pickleball at this place. I'm part of a pickleball club. Whatever it is for whatever people are into. But I think the key is to have it scheduled and have a plan for that time that's actually available to you. Otherwise, it defaults to sedentary, I think, for most people.
Yeah, because that's what life leads to at this point, for sure, right?
Yeah.
and again, pick the thing that you enjoy the most, and then it'll probably lead to one of our other categories. It's like, we'll try to pick one that's also social in nature, because
It's true, yeah.
you know,
From a mental health perspective.
as human animals, like most of us require like lots of socialization fulfillment, and so if you can pick a physical,
Human animals.
it's true.
I can't.
We are mammals after all.
Bunch of human animals playing some table tennis.
That's all we are, and we're in a group, right? Yeah, so pick a physical hobby that's social in nature. Find your third place. We've talked about this as well.
Yeah.
And that satisfies a lot of things at once. I've always said to you, my favorite thing to do is to be highly physically active and also have a great conversation at the same time. Satisfies both things at once.
Yeah, like your bike rides.
My bike rides in the
Usually,
morning on
yeah.
Sundays.
I would tell you to shut up if we were riding bikes
That's
together.
why I don't bike ride with you.
I would be like, please shut up. Please shut up. I'm currently dying.
We talk for 4 hours straight.
That'd be awful.
Can you imagine?
Like,
I mean, we're going to do that today, but we're going to sit.
yeah, this is my kind of. Yeah, this is great. This is my favorite
This
activity.
is like death. Like my blood is slipping.
I mean, Ava, who's in the room right now with us behind the cameras, is currently laying on the ground.
She is as being as sedentary as possible. I'm in my
She
bed.
was standing.
Yep.
Then she sat, and now she's laying
Like
down.
my body can't take sitting.
I'm wondering if we're like super boring. Are we boring?
I've been dancing for 5 hours a day.
Okay. Ava's preparing for
I
her show.
am sleepy.
Yeah, she's been doing a lot of dancing. Yeah. Okay. So you're totally fine.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I guess we're not boring. She's just tired.
Yeah.
That's good to know.
That's allowed.
Okay. So then let's keep it down. All right. So then let's move into sleep.
Yeah.
I think this is another one. Again, it's creating systems. How do we get immersed? So if I was immersed in your house, what am I doing? Like leading up to bed? What time is bed? What time? On a normal night, unlike last night, which you screwed up. But on your normal night,
Ideal. Yeah. So what's the ideal?
what's the ideal? Like, what do you do? I want to know. What is
Yeah.
the total? I'm living with you.
Yeah.
What is this going to look like for me?
Yeah. So we're getting up at 4 in the morning.
Okay.
So then, therefore, you have to start with that. And
Yeah.
so if you're going to get up at 4, then you have to go to bed like way earlier than that.
So
that
we're doing the math backwards.
That means you're transitioning into bed at the latest 8:30. Like you're basically like lying down in bed by 8:30.
So to be clear, you have 2 young children, not young, but like teenage children.
16 and 14.
Children at home.
Yeah.
And a wife.
Yeah.
How is this received in the home?
Well, they're all highly aware that dad starts to shut down mentally and physically at around 8. Totally like obligatorily. Like
Yeah.
I'm just like, like a machine.
So I kind of picture a robot
Yeah.
just running out of battery.
It's just correct. It's just like,
Your speech gets like a little slower, like
for sure.
hey Kurt.
Peterbot transition to bed.
And then it's just
Yeah.
it's over.
It's over.
The battery's out. It's gotta be plugged
so
back
then
in.
it's our falling asleep on the couch.
Yeah.
So the end of the night is usually a routine. There's no phone, at least a half an hour before I transition into bed. I'm not doing anything that's stressing me out. So one of the things that I'm working on, if you were with me, is we would have our phone completely away from us, because I live my work life through my phone often when I'm not physically in the building.
Yeah.
So what happens is if you're stimulating your brain with things around work or things that you're used to being highly like using your cognitive processes, you will keep yourself more awake. You'll be more like
Yeah, 'cause your brain is,
alert and
like, thinking
aware.
about that
You're
stuff.
going through that stuff.
Yeah.
So what you need to do is you need to have a routine before bed that puts you into a more of a depressed state, so that your brain is not as active, not like clinically depressed, but just you're not as active, you're starting to get tired, you're less alert, less aware, and that'll allow your brain to transition into these wavelengths that allow more sleepiness and tiredness. You're not sitting there like staring at your screens, right? You're doing something that is like maybe like playing a game with your family, like a game of cards, or like reading a book or something like that.
Yeah.
And then you go to bed at the same time every night. Routine is really helpful with that.
Right.
So keep the room very dark. So get rid of your LEDs. Keep the room generally cool, because the body cools at night, so it's easier to have that process happen. And then when you go to bed, your phone's on total silent. It's away from your physical body. It's not like on your nightstand that you can go like this.
Right.
Meaning you had to create a barrier. So you'd have to stand up and go get your phone, as opposed to just reach for it, because then that makes it harder, right? It's like getting the junk food in the house.
Right.
You get it away from you,
Yeah.
right? And then from there, if you've done those things right, ideally you've set yourself up. You do all of these things to then set yourself up so that it's easier to fall asleep.
Yeah.
And then now it's easier to transition to sleep. You haven't been drinking a ton of water prior to bed, maybe maybe a couple of hours prior to bed. You've reduced the amount of water intake.
And as we talked about in a couple episodes before this, no alcohol close to bedtime.
Yeah, so alcohol will just destroy your sleep, right?
yeah.
So alcohol is a non-starter for sleep, right?
Yeah.
So you really must like totally cut that out prior to sleep if you want like a good like sleeping hygiene. And then now you're going to be getting up less to go pee. You're going to be more restful because your brain gets into the deeper sleep cycles faster. And ideally you've given yourself enough total time between bed and wake up that you've gone through those sleep cycles twice. That then allows you to get the most amount of restoration that you need. And that's the whole point of a sleep routine prior to and while you're in bed. And then I would also suggest having a very steady wake up time so that your body gets used to going to bed and waking up at the same time. And then if you're the type of person that rushes around like a chicken with their head cut off in the morning, maybe you give yourself a little bit more time to wake up between the time in which you wake up and when you have to like leave the house to let yourself settle into the morning with
that feeling of being like rushed is awful.
It's pretty awful.
Like you wake up, your heart's elevated, cortisol spiking.
You start with a lot of anxiety.
You're like anxiety before you even, and you show up to work and you're already like disheveled and like whatever. And it's like nice having like a way to like ease into the day.
End the day and the beginning of the day with intentionality. I think is a good way to think about that.
Yeah. I might be dishing out $10,000 for the total. Did the price go up at all since we talked about it?
It might.
It might. Inflation. That's a lot.
It's been like a year since we seriously thought about it.
Yeah, this is fun. So then the last one is like sort of the mental health. So we already mentioned a little bit about like the socialization, community, friendships, that kind of thing. I think another big one is probably two things. And I know in the world of Peter, I give you a hard time about this one thing. I know one, you pay zero attention to the news.
Zero.
Like you have no idea like what's going on. Like for instance, are you aware right now that the World Cup is happening?
Only because you've told me.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know.
He literally has nothing. I was like, Ava's looking at you in shock. So he has literally no clue what's happening in the world, which I know like seems weird. And I know some of our clients in the past have actually given you a hard time saying it's almost like irresponsible. However, whatever, it's okay. But you do it on purpose for one reason. You have very limited use of social media, even though you're running a company that like is like a media empire.
Thank God for this one.
Thank God for Ava and Gianna and us. So what's the rationale behind those two things for you?
So my justification for not knowing what's going on outside of my local community, and I really mean that, is because I have determined that I have no effect on the outcomes of anything outside of my local community that I have an effect on. So then if that's true and I'm not willing to make the change in the world that will actually have an effect on those things, which I'm not, then knowing about them will only bring me anxiety, fear, and depression. So why would I do that to myself? That makes no sense at all. So then therefore, if I just stay oblivious and let my local community be the thing that I focus on, I feel like it puts me in a far better mentally healthy state.
Yeah.
And I don't care that I'm a little less relatable to the people around me that know about these things. That's okay. I'm protecting my mental health, and I think that it's worth it. So I don't know. I probably started doing that a decade ago, and I'm never going back unless I have to.
I think like news is generally, as we know, as everyone knows at this point, is like it's negatively.
It has to be negative. Follow the incentives
because that's where they get the
negative news gets the views, gets the money. So they're highly incentivized to share things with you.
So there's so many great things that happen in the world every day.
Yeah, and
you don't get to hear about any of that.
So because we get mostly negative, because that's what pays the bills for these news stations, I'm not interested in letting that into my mental health space.
Because I think people don't realize how much that actually impacts them. Like
if
all you're seeing is like death, dying, destruction,
Awful.
Hatred. Like if that's all you're ever seeing, then of course, whether it's on the news or on social media, I almost called it the social media. Be like so old.
Old guy.
He's so old. On the social. If you see it on there all of the time, it seeps into, that's how your view of like the world is that everything is like that there's no good people out there anymore. And I just think that's so far from the truth. That what you're seeing, it's almost like the opposite, right? All you see on there is negative, but that's actually a very small percentage of what actually occurs in the world.
It's flip-flopped, actually.
It's actually flip-flopped.
Most things are good.
Right, but we don't see any of it.
Most people are good.
Most people are good, right?
But I think when you watch the news, when you watch social media, you think that like most people are bad, and that couldn't be farther from the truth if you live in the world around you. Like nothing bad happens to me in my world. I know I'm very privileged. I live an awesome life. But if you look at the news, it's like a shit show and everything's on fire.
Right.
That's not happening to me here.
Right.
Things are great.
So it's like I think being present in your own world and spending more time with real people and in your community, that you'll probably be happier because you're going to notice that most people are good. Most things are good. Most days are good.
Yes.
And like, yes, do awful things happen?
Yes.
Like for sure, right? You know, and you're sympathetic to that. And if and when it happens to you and in your community, then you deal with it when you have to, right? But outside of that, and you know, I don't know. It's, you don't want to sound like it's selfish, but it's almost like you can't, like you said, you can't control. You can't do anything about like a wildfire in Florida.
Can't.
Or
so why do
California.
I want to know about it?
So what do you
I'm
need
sorry
to
that's
know?
happened to those people, but like I can't do anything about that. So why would I want to know about the horrors? I don't like it. Doesn't seem right. And then so there's two things that I'll back it up with. That evolutionarily, so if you look before technology and you look before like transportation, we were kind of like relegated to our small footprint in the world, like a tribe of people, right?
Yeah.
Everybody else was the enemy. So you really only knew about the tribe that you were in, let's call it 50 people. So like our brains are used to knowing about 50 people's lives and the things that go on in those lives. Yeah. All of a sudden now we have access to like the 8 billion lives in the world. Well, that's a math problem. Like obviously there's going to be horrific things at scale constantly that our brains can't understand or think about.
Now we get it all fed in.
And
there,
so now you get this like idea that the world is horrific and insane because of like the constant like negative like feedback that you're getting, and then now that infects your real life. And if like that's to me is like unacceptable. Like I love the idea of an optimistic worldview. Yeah. And I think a pessimistic one is what you get in the news, and I don't think it's possible to like not have that if you fester in it.
What was the guy, that superhero guy that could like put the thing on his head and he could see, like, he hear all the voices of all the
Professor X in X-Men.
That's what it reminds me of.
Yeah.
We're all sort of like Professor X
get
now,
too much
and we have like too much inputs coming in, and we like can't handle it all. Like only he could handle it. Remember, if anyone else tried to do it, I think, like if I remember my superhero movies,
they would like die or something.
They were like, it was like too much. Like they couldn't, because it was all different people.
Now
like,
we all can access all of this input, and I just don't think it's good for our brains.
Yeah, it's a lot. I would agree. So I think there are like some apps and things that people can put on their phone. I heard one recently. I'm trying to remember. Oh, it was. The person who said it was Paula Pant. She has like a podcast. She's a finance person, but she said she has an app on her phone where she's literally only allowed to go on social media. Her phone will only let her from like the time from like 7 to 8 p.m. Like she gives herself 1 hour a day to like go on there because she does enjoy. So that people do enjoy. If you have a good feed, like if you're following, I follow a lot of sports or whatever. So like you still
curate your social media feed to be positive.
So like she only allows her. She tries to go on any other time, it blocks her. She can't get on there. And what she finds actually is most days, like she'll get busy during that time. She misses the window, and she's like, oh, like I missed my window, but then she can't.
It's not a time limit. It's a time window.
It's a window.
Wow,
yeah, it's every night from like whatever to whatever. So yeah.
So she happens to have downtime.
Then she can do it during that time. So she finds that she ends up finding that most days she just doesn't even use it because she misses the window.
That's interesting.
And then she doesn't I'm sure there's a way to like, you could just remove the app if you wanted to, but like, you know, she's trying to use it less, but she still wants to use it some. And so I think that's like a nice little compromise. But
so like one area that I'll you know give to the people that are my critics that talk about it's my responsibility as a good citizen to be aware of what's going on. I would say the things that I do have control over is my local like city council and my local town that I live and work in. And I certainly could be more aware than I am in that local stuff because I absolutely could have an effect if I wanted to without changing the entirety of my life. Yeah. So maybe that's something that I could work on is like how do I actually make my local town around me a better place through my actions. And so maybe that's something that I'll do.
I think you've done that as a business owner. You've been investing a lot in sponsorships and things like that.
Yeah.
You're starting the process.
Yeah, I'm starting that in the last couple of years.
Yeah. So that's good. Okay. Well, I think that
was fun.
Yeah, it's right up your alley. So if anyone's interested in Total Immersion with Peter, if you happen to live in the Shirley, Mass area or Air, Mass area, and you want to come and live in Peter's house, you get the sauna. We didn't really talk about the sauna, but there's saunas.
We get the cold plunge in the winter. Depends on the time of the year.
So how would they contact you?
For the low price, $10,000.
$100,000.
If you want to change your life and you would like a really full change of actual lifestyle in the areas that we've outlined, I can certainly show you how to get started.
Yep.
I've never done it before, but like that seems fun.
That'd be great if you just showed up one day with a person.
We'll
your wife
friend.
is like,
I guess they live with me now.
Yeah. All right. Very, very good. Thank you.
Okay.